Welcome to the Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC. They'll help you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you listen often, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. Now, here's your host, four-time #1 best-selling author, speaker, and business coach, Holly Porter.
Hey everyone, how are you today? We are back for the raw and real of that time of the month. You say, what is that? I've got my friend Rhonda Cimorelli. How are you?
Hey Holly, how's it going today?
It's going great. So Rhonda and I did a Stress Busters last year, and that's been, she has her own podcast and I have my own podcast, and we did a double duty, I guess you'd say, and used it for both of ours and did a 2-segment during the holidays. And that's been my most listened to podcast, and I think you as well, right?
Yeah, I've noticed that it's really coming back. So that tells me people are really looking for some methods to bust that stress over the holidays. And I love what we're about to set up here is, that I thought we were going to call it that week of the month.
Oh, what did I say?
That time of the month.
Same thing. No, just kidding.
Well, that week of the month is going to be that time of the month. So.
I don't know. Oh gosh. Well, okay. So yeah, we were. But we thought, why not bring more of that back? Yeah. Because, once a month we think we're gonna start this for that week of the month, right?
Well, we talked about this. This is the reason why we named the show that, because we want to have a little humor. We want to come to everybody and be really authentic, have that realness to us. And because I think it's important for people to see me, and probably same for you, to see us in a little bit more stress-free element, right? To be conversation and talk about stuff that's really going on. And some days, like just now, my dog kept wanting to eat her new diet up under my chair, but that's what we're going to bring to you, because life is real and we want you to feel like you're not the only ones going through it.
Right. Oh no. And you know what? I don't care who you are or what level you're at in life. Like, everybody has the same issues. It doesn't matter. It's just at a different level, but we all have them. I don't care who you are. I mean, I was listening to Brene Brown's book this morning on Audible, and I'm like, she's talking about all her fears and speaking, and I'm thinking, what the heck? This lady knows what she's doing. She's on top of her game. What do you mean she has fears still? Like, we all have them, right?
We do. We do. And I was looking at an article. It's so funny you mentioned this, because there was an article I read just the other day about celebrities, right? We have a tendency to put celebrities way up on this pedestal, but they're just like you and I. They get up and they have bedhead, and they got to brush their teeth, and they got to find some clothes, and they got to go shopping. And so we're all the same. And
I know. Well, and another thing, I've always been so worried about, the sound on, and you don't want to listen to a podcast or something that has bad quality sound, but I've listened to a lot more lately because I've been walking, and so I have more time. Usually my husband goes with me, but he hurt his foot, so he has not been walking. But he comes back and tells me he's like done 11,000 steps that day. And I'm like looking at mine going, how did I go for an hour walk? And he did more steps than me today, because he walks all day doing work. But anyway, it was funny. But yeah, I listened to those, and I've noticed the background on, like, even Rachel Hollis on her podcast. There's a lot of times she's got sirens going off in the background. I mean, talk about raw and real. And I'm like, who cares, right? If you have something to share and you have a message to share, don't wait until something's perfect. Just get it out there. Like, say what you got to say.
Yeah, perfect is overrated. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect is what? According to who?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And again, we're going to do the best that we can to make sure that these episodes come out as clear as possible with as few issues as we can. But again, we just want to bring some good content to everybody.
Yeah.
We just know that it's going to be worth it for you to listen for the, short period of time that we're going to chat with you.
And if your dog, barks, or the school bus just drove by at my house. It's like, hey, it's going to happen. So just like laugh it off with us and let's have some fun. And for this week of the month, let's just like kick our heels off and hang out and have a conversation. And we'd love comments and, you know, feedback. You're always welcome to get a hold of either of us. All of our information is always below on our podcast posts. Some will be listening, some will be watching. I do audio and video. Rhonda just does audio.
Yep.
Right?
Well, I think what I'm going to do is kind of shift this over a little bit and use the video maybe on my YouTube channel just to kind of add another segment to that, because I want people to be able to see it if they like to watch. And,
right.
You know, as we're just chatting today, I'm wondering, so we're in October, right? We're at the end of October, and I'm from originally, well, not originally, but we'll say I've been from the Northeast for many, many years. And I know a lot of people are experiencing a cool, crisp fall. And a lot of people, women, moms that I talk to, are getting really overwhelmed this time of year. Have you noticed that too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, the hustle is happening. The kids went back to school a month or so ago, depending on where you live. And it's soccer season, for one. I know a lot, you know, that's the soccer moms, right? But how about you? What events or activities do you notice that your clientele get really stressed out about?
Well, I noticed, you know, if you go into the stores, oh my gosh, talk about confusion in retail sales. You go down and you have Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I'm pretty sure Valentine's Day will be out soon. Like, that's stressful enough, right? Like, do I show my love, or do I show my selfishness, or do I be thankful?
Or do I scare the bejeebies out of you?
Right. No kidding. So I think that's stressful. Like, I avoid, especially Walmart. I go very early or very late, if at all possible, or not at all, if at all possible, because oh my gosh, you know how the kids are. They like always have to go to the bathroom when you go into a store, and you have them screaming. It's like, parents, just let them scream. It's like, ah! Anyway, it's hard. It's a challenge. I mean, I had 8 kids. They're all grown now, so I get it. I know, but oh my gosh, just take them out in the car and let them cry out there.
Well, you know, I noticed that the holiday seasons, you know, starting right now, because again, you've got the school, you've got your kids' schedules, they've got soccer, they have their activities. We have extra holiday activities, whether it's pumpkin carving or Halloween parties, or depending on the age of your child. You know, you have a whole bunch of different things to do. And I know for myself, we moved recently, so I'm trying to get out into new networking groups and find new people. So there's always something different happening. Mm-hmm. And I would like to I thought it'd be really cool today just to address some of the things maybe you personally are going through, because there are a lot of listeners in your shoes who have had the kids, who know what it's like to hustle and bustle multiples, right? But now have a little bit more freedom and flexibility with that. But I know you're also really, really busy. And I have the grown kids, but I still have one at home. And, you know, so there's different things that we each experience that kind of stresses out. So what if you share something that, you know, you've noticed that kind of is heavy on your schedule, and what are you doing to prevent it or deal with it?
I think, you know, it's just juggling time management right now. Projects, I always have a lot of projects. I talk, and that's where it's at. It's like, okay, I've got to get this done. And, you know, I get deterred very easily. So I think it's just figuring out when and where to schedule everything. And I've been traveling a lot. Fall's a busy time for events. And so fall and spring's when I'm gone doing a lot of events. And yeah, just trying to get everything done in between. Like, I'm leaving tomorrow, and then I come back for 2 days, and then I leave again for 4. So it's just like, oh, okay, I have 2 days to get everything done that I need to get done. And anyway.
So tell everybody, you know, how do you prioritize then? Because you probably you have a life, you have a husband, you have, you know, kids around you. So what do you do to prioritize that?
Yeah, and I've got grandkids, you know, so at some point you got to see them. They live 45 minutes away. So we when I am home on Sundays, I really like to have them over for dinner. it doesn't happen like I want it to, you know, but I think if you can have those family dinners, even when your kids are grown and gone and you have grandkids, if they live close enough where you can have them over, my husband's pretty good about reminding me of, you know, we need to have everyone over for dinner. But oh my gosh, to me, it's like sometimes I love having them, but it used to be I just do everything. And now I'm like, they can all bring a side, you know, help me out here. It's like, I'm a working grandma, you know, I'm not a retired grandma that can have them all the time, you know, it's just, I was a young grandma. So you have to just adapt. And I remember having a friend when I had my salon and spa, and she would do every single Sunday, but they would slave. I mean, like her husband would do the roast and the meat. I think they kind of always have the same meal on Sunday, which is fine. And he would handle that part, but she would just like slave to the bone. I mean, I just remember her preparing, and I thought she'd never have her kids bring anything. And she had like 7 kids. So I was just like, finally said to her, why don't you just have them, you know, like you're in charge of a salad, you're in charge of dessert, so you can not, you know, you shouldn't have to slave yourself away. And when she did that, it was amazing the change. Like sometimes those little shifts that, you know, one thing for those kids to bring was nothing for them, but it saved her hours of preparing this big meal. And I think just little things like that.
Well, I know until we moved, we would still do Sunday meals all together, either our house or my husband's mother. Yeah. But we always did this Italian Sunday sauce, you know, and it does take a lot of preparation. But for my husband, he loves doing that, and he likes to entertain them. We just really had company over the other night. But that's what he likes and enjoys. So if you like it and enjoy it, go for it. But if you're a woman or man and you're doing it because it's been a tradition and it's getting time consuming and maybe you don't enjoy it as much, that would be a great time to take Holly's suggestion and say, hey guys, who wants to bring this one? Who wants to bring that one? And it will shift things up. Was there anything else that you have to deal with before you travel?
You know what amazes me? How fast you can get stuff done when you are leaving town. Like I could be a miracle worker the rest of the time like that. I would get so much done. I mean, my house, I'll make sure it's clean. Well, for the most part, that's usually last because I usually have so much to do to leave. But you know, it's amazing how it's like, wait, how did I do all of this just because I'm leaving town? It's like, oh. Or how about when we clean our house? Speaking of cleaning our house, my needs are really bad right now. How about when we clean it because everyone's coming over and then they trash it? It's like, oh my gosh, I've learned maybe let's not deep clean till after the grandkids leave. You know, let's just like straighten up because it just, you know, we do so much for guests and then.
Right. So I'm going to tell you something funny, right? Because this might put a totally different spin on it. When we moved a couple of years ago down to the state that we're in, North Carolina, my daughter made a friend, and they at horseback riding camp or class, whatever, and they were chit-chatting, and we said, you know, why don't you invite her parents over? It was her mom and her sister. And the day that the girls decided to get together, of course, as I said, my husband loves to cook and he loves to prepare and he loves to entertain. Which, by the way, I have figured out I only want to be entertained. I want to socialize, but I don't want to entertain you. So this is working out really, really good for us. He's the host, and I just want to be entertained. But anyway, what was interesting is our kitchen was not very big. And when my husband cooks these big Italian meals, he's got pots and pans everywhere. When I tell you everywhere, I'm not exaggerating. So they come over, and we were sitting outside on our little screened-in porch area, and we just had a blast. He's a great host, and when she left, she grabbed my arm. She says, I just want to thank you. And I said, oh, you're very welcome. She goes, no, the food and the entertainment was fantastic. She goes, but what I really appreciate is you didn't like clean up and make it spotless. And I went, and what was funny is because I'm in this mindset now lately where I have a lived-in house. I have kids, I have dogs, I have a husband, we're cooking. And I've come to the conclusion that if you want to come visit and hang out with me, you don't need my house spotless anymore. And you know what? That has become one of the best friendships because there are no expectations,
Right.
right? So I think there's a lot to be said for those who want to present, right? Give that appearance of a house picked up and cleaned up and whatnot. But there's also a sense of being real, raw, and authentic, right? I'm not saying, leave your dirty clothes and your socks everywhere.
Right.
But it's, let's kind of put this in perspective, because I know when my mom used to come and visit growing up, you could eat off of her floor, all right? Off the floor, you could eat off of anything. And I remember as an adult, she would come and my husband would go, your mom's coming, right? And I said, well, how do you know? He's like, you're cleaning. I mean, you are really clean. I had 3 dogs, 3 kids in the house. I'm out in the country. And here's what happened. The day that I could own it and say, you know what, Mom, I can't keep up with you.
Yeah.
You had 2 kids, no dogs, and you both were immaculate, and you both had inside jobs. I have 3 kids, 3 dogs, construction, country. I can't keep up. And when I let that go,
yeah,
guess what? My holidays are not nearly as stressful as they used to be.
So true.
Just a tip for my perspective.
Yeah, no, you
might really.
Okay, shifting for a minute. Let's talk, and we want to keep these fairly short so that, the attention span of people.
Yeah. You froze.
I thought I'd love to hear what comments people have about where do you hide your Christmas gifts for people, like the kids. And I'm just curious, like, of some cool spots. So I'd like to have that conversation maybe next time, just some fun places that they hide. So let's do a little research on that. Maybe we'll chat about that next time, because I can't stand when you have a surprise for somebody and they find it. Like, I think I'm pretty clever most of the time. And it's like, dang it.
I love it. So we'll do that one. We'll check in with that next time. And if anybody has ideas of like what we could chat about and bring new perspective, comment below. Let us know.
Definitely.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time, right, Holly?
All right. Everybody, thanks for joining us. We will see you next time for that time of the week.
That time of the month.
Oh, that's right. That time of the month.
All right. We'll see you later.
Okay. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Prosperity Profiles Podcast, sponsored by Prosperity Profilers, LLC, helping you look prosperous, feel prosperous, and be prosperous. We hope you enjoyed our time together, and we'll visit again soon. You can learn more about Prosperity Profilers by going to hollyporter.com.